Broads Media.
Yo, what's going on, fellas? This is something. So let me give you a little rundown here. I did an overnight kind of shift at WIP this morning, midnight to 3 a.m. I got home around 3:30. Up at 6 a.m., getting ready to be in a wedding, which is out in Bensalem. So I am living on zero sleep right now. The wife already left because she's also in the wedding. And women take a little bit longer to get ready for these type of events. So she took an Uber over to Bensalem. So we only have one vehicle, which means I'm on dad duty. So I'm watching Brooklyn on the little mom cozy, hoping that she doesn't wake up by the time I get this thing finished. But she probably will. So who knows if this is going to be a quick hit? Who knows if this is going to be a full-length show? We're just rolling with the punches, all right? So, look, I'm running on zero fuel, and there's no other way I would like to have it than that. I mean, I lied. I would love to actually have sleep and not have to rely on a fuck ton of coffee to get myself motivated, but it is what it is. Hold on. We'll talk about the Phils. I just need a fat fucking sip of this coffee real quick. All right, what did I see against the Mets in Philadelphia? Well, we know they took care of business in Queens. I don't know how you want to spin it. I've heard the debate that, well, they swept in Queens and they split in Citizens Bank Park. I heard that, no, it's a 4-game series. Stop breaking it up. They took 3 out of 4. I don't give a damn which way you slice it. I just care that you won 3 out of 4 games against a team that I despise. And it's a shame that they weren't able to win that final game. Taijuan Walker ends up leaving after he gets drilled in the foot. It seems like there's more optimism than there is negative tone surrounding his update, so that's good to note. And they just kept, really clawing their way back into that game. When they're down 2-0, it seemed like they had no life. Here's Bryson Stott. Here's JT Realmuto. Here's Nick Castellanos with a sac fly. Here's Alec Boehm. They did enough. Kyle Schwarber gives you the lead, and I thought right then and there, when you go up 3-2, that would be enough to get the W, but unfortunately, it was a weird one. Jose Alvarado late with a wild pitch that hurt you. Jeff Hoffman with the wild pitch that hurt you as well, and I was getting ready to tweet. It was a bad day for me on the old tweeter machine, okay? Because I tweeted out, or almost did, a picture of one Yankee closer. I think you guys can put the pieces together here. And I was ready to hit send that Jeff Hoffman reminds me of said Yankees closer. That wasn't the case. But that's not the only thing that was really bad for me on the Tweeter application. What I almost did, no, this one I actually did do. Sorry, brain's not working. I tweeted out, the Phils don't lose. When Kyle Schwarber takes the lead, actually it was when the Phillies tied it 2-2, there was something about the balls of this squad, and I said, this team don't lose. Well, in fact, they do lose, because they did lose. But that's not the worst part of it all. I hate New York more than I hate life. Not the city. I like the city. The sports teams, the fans, idiots, morons, dopes. However you want to phrase it, that's what they are. This is reality of the situation. I watched the New York Rangers go down 3-1 in Game 6, and they were on life support in the third period. And I go, oh man, I'm loving watching the Rangers fans and the New York fans crumble because now they're sweating it out. They have a 3-0 series lead. They're down 3-1 with 1 period to go against Carolina. A lot of nervous energy. They fucking came back and won. I fucking hate New York teams, man. I hate them. Eastern Conference Finals in Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are probably going to reach it. Well, the Mets stink, for whatever that's worth, although those fans are probably all Yankees fans anyway, so they're enjoying great baseball too. But anyway, it was a bad day for me on the tweeter machine. That's my point. Whatever. All right, look, Matt Strom, good for you, man. Good for you to come in there and help settle things down. A lot of good things out of the pen, really, outside of a couple of wild pitches. Kerkering, Gregory Soto, Ruiz late. Was able to go after Francisco Lindor, who had himself a tough series against the fighting Phils. It's a shame because I truly thought that they would have been able to squeeze that one out because, quite frankly, that's all they've done. And what I don't want to do is go down this road of, she's moving on the monitor. She's moving on the monitor. But she's not crying. I don't hear any tears. Maybe she was just readjusting. Okay, looks like she's back to sleep. I'll give you the play-by-play as it happens throughout the program. We might have bought ourselves some more time. This is what I'm not going to do. Because when Kyle Schwarber ends up not coming up clutch in the 11th inning and people are angry, blah, 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 my instant replies on social media was, we gotta bench Schwarber, move him out of the leadoff spot. Bryson Stott deserves it. Yeah, Stott's been killer, man. Stott's been fantastic. This team is the best team in baseball with Kyle Schwarber up top. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this whenever somebody does well for a little bit. Bryson Stott wasn't good a couple of weeks ago. He wasn't tearing the cover off the ball and having all these great stats and being a monster a couple of weeks ago. He's on a nice little run right now. But this team is the best team in baseball. They have 30-plus wins. It's May 17th. Happy birthday, Kara, to my beautiful wife. Happy birthday. Yeah, we have a wedding that we're both in on her birthday. I know. It's been a crazy little stretch here that we're on, but I digress. This team is so good. Their personality is based off of Kyle Schwarber being up top. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. This team's not a 12-win team right now, and you should be pissed off that they're not living up to the expectations. Like, seriously? You know what's funny about this whole thing? If you ask every single person in that clubhouse, how do you feel about Kyle Schwarber leading off? You know what they all say? It's amazing. It's incredible. We love it. It's a personality trait. It describes us. It's who we are. They don't give a damn. You care 5,000 times more than they care because they know that it works. They've watched the team get to the World Series with it. They've watched the team try other things, not really pan out, go back to Kyle Schwarber, boom, became the team that they inspired to be. I don't know why we have to do this. They had one loss, and now all of a sudden, Kyle Schwarber can't play? I'm not doing this. And because Bryson Stott's a lefty, unfortunately for him, it ain't going to work. Because I'm not batting Kyle Schwarber fourth behind Bryce Harper, who's batting third. I'm not having 3 of my first 4 hitters be lefties. And I'm not putting Kyle Schwarber at 5 because then you're taking away too many at-bats. I believe Kyle Schwarber deserves more at-bats than Bryson Stott because you know what we talk about all the time? This is sickening that I even have to fight this fight today because we're better than this. We should understand how great of a team this is and the fact that I have to have a civil war with morons. It makes me very upset. But you know how you talk about stress innings with pitchers? Hey, there was some traffic on the bases. Hey, they had to work through a jam. Hey, there was one out, man, on second and third. Those were some stress innings. Aaron Judge is up. Big guys are up. Stanton's up. You got to get through that. That puts stress on the pitchers. Nobody on base, no outs. Kyle Schwarber at the dish. Automatic stress inning. Automatic stress at bat. Automatic putting stress on the pitcher. Whether it ends up being a strikeout, whether it ends up being a pop-up. And by the way, let's not act like Kyle Schwarber can't get on base. Let's not act like this dude doesn't knock in Bryson Stott. And that's the thing that's great about that. Your team is so deep. There's going to be 6, 7 hole hitters that are probably good enough to hit 2, to hit 1, to hit this, to hit that. Your team's so fucking deep. Your team is so fucking good. Shut up. Enjoy how amazing they are. Why can't we enjoy great things? I don't know. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. But it does suck that Taijuan Walker went down. Hopefully, it's not anything too crazy. Here is Rob Thompson giving us an update after the game on where Taijuan Walker is and his status.
Left big toe contusion, hit right off the end of his toe. X-ray's negative. We'll just have to see how he comes in tomorrow.
It feels better now than when it first happened. I tried to walk it off a little bit, but it just kept getting kind of hot and numb, and just started hurting. But it definitely feels a lot better, especially after getting the X-ray, and everything was negative, everything was clean. So that made me feel a lot better. But definitely a sore, bruise, starting to swell a little bit, but could have been a lot worse.
I didn't realize that clip was going to play Taijuan as well, but that was the pitcher who shared his little thoughts on what was going on as well. Don't be dumb. It's not a good thing to have Taijuan Walker go down and potentially miss time. I don't know exactly where it's going to go. Can Spencer Turnbull get the nod the next time around the rotation to give Walker a little bit of breathing room here? Maybe. It's not as if Spencer Turnbull threw the lights out the last time he got a nod out of the pen. It was actually a little rough in the 8th inning on what's today? Today's Friday. What would that be? Would that be Wednesday's game when they won 10-5? Man, the Mets stink, though. The Mets absolutely stink. And I don't care what Rob Thompson says publicly about Rojas not getting benched for a play out in center field. That's what Rob Thompson does well, and that's why the clubhouse loves him to death, is publicly he'll say, oh, no, it's just a rotation. Rojas played a lot of games recently. He's been snagging a lot of time out there. We just have to work in a rotation of Pache, of Brandon Marsh. Come on, man. No, he's holding him accountable, and I like that. I do, but that's why they get the love from Rob Thompson, and Rob Thompson gets the love from him and gets the love from the teammates as well. The clubhouse is because of the way he handles things. There's no doubt about it that he sat Rojas, and there's a lot of defensive metrics out there that are telling you that Rojas has not lived up to the expectations defensively, and Dave Dombrowski told you that he's an out-of-this-world level of defender. And don't get me wrong, I see it when he shows his speed, when he shows his ability to track down a fly ball, when he's making a play that most people don't get to. He gets under it comfortably, and he settles down, and he makes the catch. The problem is, I don't know if it's a lack of focus. I don't know if he's comfortable now, and he thinks he's all right because he hit a couple of home runs, or he's knocking in a couple runs here and there, if he's feeling himself, smelling himself, and this was Rob's opportunity to be like, yo, dude, you got to absolutely focus and dial in more and really pay attention, or you're going to drop a ball that hits you right in the glove, because that's Rhys Hoskins out in left field type stuff. So if you're going to be on this club and getting the opportunity to start out in center field, you have to be a game record defensively. You have to take away runs from the other team. What you can't do is force Ranger Suarez to pitch more, because let's be honest, it wasn't even Ranger Suarez's best day, and when it's not his best day from an individual level, you need some help defensively. You can't keep putting him in longer innings, asking him to get 4 outs. He's already rough. And to be honest with you, what's so funny to me is this man has a bad day at the office. You want to know what his bad day is? 5 innings pitched, no earned runs. That's his bad day. You know how many people would sign up for that in a heartbeat to be their great day? 5 innings pitched, no earned runs. It's absolutely hysterical. His ERA is down to a 1.37. It was a 1.50 prior to the game. He had a pretty bad game, and it went down to a 1.37. I don't even understand. Bryce Harper went on the record again discussing his greatness, discussing how important it is to have a Ranger Suarez. It is something significant, man. And speaking of Bryce Harper, he came alive in that 10-5 win, whether it's a home run, whether it's 2 RBI knock, 3 runs batted in total. The guy absolutely helped out, as well as the bottom of your lineup tacked on 4 RBI of their own. Edmundo Sosa, Christian Pache, Rojas, and yeah, I mean, the Mets suck. There's no doubt about it. While you were constantly running yourself into outs, and that will probably hurt you against better teams, this is my biggest thing, though, about that is because I was actually driving home from the radio station, and I was listening to John Johnson, who does overnights, and I was listening to one of his first callers, and he said, John, what did I tell you? John, what I tell you? All these mistakes, you guys are praising the Phillies, and I love the Phillies, but these mistakes are going to come back to really crush them. You saw how they lost, right? Well, dude, did you pay attention to their 30-plus win record? You're going to lose baseball game. I mean, 105-win baseball teams. Do the math. Think about how many times they're going to lose. Obviously, this team has not cleaned up the base running mistakes from years past, and they have cleaned up defensively. They have cleaned up the bullpen. They have emphasized some details with the hitting mechanics and the chase rate, and Bryson Stott has walked significantly more. Go look at Bryson Stott's total amount of walks last season and his rookie season, and look where he is now. He is on a huge projection of a jump, and that is significant for him to take that stride and become and develop an even stronger player in the batter's box. So they've done a lot of things to improve all around the diamond. One area that they haven't been able to really lock in yet is the base running. Maybe that's just part of their DNA. Bryce Harper's the emotional leader. What they like to do with him is have him be aggressive and try and stretch singles to doubles to put pressure on the other team's defense, and maybe they live and die with that and say, hey, Nick, if you want to try and stretch a single to a double, have at it. Yo, JT, if you want to run through Dusty Wathen's stop sign and you want to try and go home, so be it, and we'll live with it. Now, I think that's stupid, but that's the only thing I could come up with because it seems like it is part of their brand. It seems like it's part of their identity, and absolutely it sucks. And it bothered me that happened, and you found a way to beat a bad team when you did this. Is it possible that it can kill you against better teams? And my answer is yeah, no doubt about it. If you're playing the Braves and you get gunned out at second, and instead of a leadoff single, it's one out in the third inning, and that inning could have went on forever, and you could have applied some serious pressure. Oh, no doubt about it. But here's also what I will tell you. All these other teams that we are competing against, they have their version of running into outs. So that's the Phillies' kryptonite. But there's no team out there that is so perfect that they don't have their version of problems. It wasn't very long ago that the Braves team that we are fighting with in our own division right now, and that we are leading, by the way, I just want to make sure that that's noted, that we are leading in the division, watched their superstar, Ronald Acuna Jr., half-ass it as a lazy bastard to the point where Brian Snitker has made it very public that I got to bench this dude because he doesn't work hard. He doesn't compete. That's their superstar. That's their DNA. That's the face of the franchise. And he's watching JT Realmuto hit an inside-the-park home run in a damn playoff game at Citizens Bank Park because in the outfield, he didn't even feel like trying. Okay? So, yeah, the Phillies might try and reach a double or try and reach second base and get a double when they should have stopped. That stuff happens. The Braves have a problem, though. The Braves have a problem. Teams have problems. It's not just the Phillies. Taking a listen here at the baby monitor. She's up, but I don't hear any crying. She's moving around. She's looking around. What are we, 18 minutes in? That's pretty good. I didn't expect to make it this far without having to pause it or anything. So we're definitely coming down to the wire here. There's no doubt about it. I don't have that much time left. With that, I guess I'll run a couple of phone calls here to get the reaction of the people. Oh, here's an in-game call. All right, sometimes I like that, to get a pulse of how people were feeling in-game. I'm looking at the timestamp here. Let's do it from our buddy in Syracuse.
Hey, bros. Rowdy from Syracuse. Okay, I'm calling you at the middle of the eighth. I usually call you at the end of the game, but I'm going to try something a little different today. So we're down by one now. A little bad luck / misplay with Hoffman. You know, wild pitch gives up a run, gives up the lead, but the hit off his back there that we could have, kept her held down.
Yeah, that sucked.
Either way, Stott, I'm loving the way Stott's playing it. He's playing a lot of heart, especially after getting whacked in the, the low thigh, upper knee. That's tough. But I'm not doubting them here. I think, we got 6 outs to work with. They got 3. Well, let's see what happens.
Now, I do like that overall message. Now, unfortunately, we know what the outcome was, and they did not win the game. But there was something to be said about the way they competed. They really did just keep coming. They kept coming in waves. It's hard to put this team down. Now, unfortunately, there are going to be times where you just don't have enough on that given day. But I will give a lot of pride in the fact that they put guys on. It came down to the final situation. Could they climb back? It sucks that the wild pitches came back to bite you, but you put a few guys on. Kyle Schwarber's up. You know, Mets fans were getting nervous. Edwin Diaz in the game. It's not enough. As you alluded to, Bryson Stott putting the team on his back, constantly coming up large. Like, yeah, no, that does matter. Absolutely. That matters. So I take pride in the fact that even on the nights where maybe they just come up short, whether they shoot themselves in the foot a little bit or whether the other team is just clicking on that night, you're playing a team 4 times. I mean, to win all 4 games is a very difficult task, even if it is a team that's not necessarily good. And as much as the Mets are a disaster and a dysfunctional mess, they're not Chicago White Sox. They're not the Colorado Rockies, right? I mean, they're just under 500-ish. They do win sometimes, and you take the 3 out of 4. It sucks, but when you're playing this well, this strong, it's hard to get angry about them, even with some of their deficiencies, because they've had these same deficiencies throughout this time. And I don't want to hear that it's not sustainable because you're playing teams that are bad. No. I've watched this core play in the playoffs. They may have not won a championship. They may have fell short to the Houston Astros, who were the better team that season. They may have missed a chance against the Texas Rangers. But Ranger Suarez being a Cy Young candidate is not just because they're playing bad teams. Ranger Suarez does this against the best teams. Zach Wheeler? Come on now. Zach Wheeler is one of the best pitchers, not only just in the National League, in Major League Baseball. I've seen him do it against the best teams in baseball. Same with Aaron Nola. No. This isn't a product of who you're playing. This is a product of who the Phillies are. And that's reality of it. All right, it looks like here we have a call from a pretty consistent caller. And just to give a little backstory on this, this is about, this individual, if I remember correctly, because it gives you a little transcript. So it transcribes the phone call, the voicemail, and it comes up in text so I can see a little bit about what's being talked about here, and I recognize the number. This caller has called in previously about hating Aaron Nola. So he ended up throwing a shutout gem, a complete game shutout, and it looks like he's chiming back in to discuss Aaron Nola and just the 10-5 win over the Mets as well. So let's take a listen.
So this might become a airwave or a hot take, but I watched Aaron Nola the other night pitch, and I'm watched the game today and how he won in Philly. And even if, we take another one, I will say it straight up. The bullpen sucks.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
Spencer Turnbull, you got to be better. And Aaron Nola did not impress me.
How?
Congratulations. You had a good game. You had a great game. So I'll give you that. You had a great game.
Complete game.
But what's the best thing about pitchers? Consistency. Nolan Ryan was consistent.
Nolan Ryan?
There was a lot of pitchers that are like him. Now, the reason why I was happy that we re-signed him was because he can give you games like this. But I also know that he can give you – he's Nelson fucking Aguilar. That's what he is. He can give you games where he looks like Nelson Aguilar in 2016 dropping every ball possible. But it can also give you Nelson Aguilar in a Super Bowl. It's just depending on where you get it from.
Okay. Nelson Aguilar? I mean, I do agree that Aaron Nola sometimes has stinkers. I honestly don't even know where to go from here with that one. That was probably one of the most ridiculous phone calls I've ever taken. I disagree completely that there's a lot of Aaron Nolas out there. No. There's truth to he has some unfortunate moments that we don't necessarily love, but no, I mean, you're absolutely, you are disrespecting Aaron Nola so much, and that's such an outrageous take. I don't even know if I have to defend Aaron Nola here. I think Aaron Nola's career, what is he, going on his 10th season here? His postseason success, yep, that's right. What we've been waiting for a while out of Aaron Nola is finally here. His postseason success is no joke. No, I'm not even going there. All right, my baby's crying on the monitor. That means it's time for me to go. Thank you guys all so much. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.